Steals the Great, live on Bars and Hoops Radio.
New York City, we back. The Big Apple, NY. The Knicks are back. Staten Mellow. This dedicated to my city, New York. Official kings in the court. Reach with a ball of hard nuts and gets taught. So bring your skills to the nearest playground. No clown around. Catch a helmet in a minute on a New York playground. The Big Apple's what they call it for short. And basketball is our sport. We play for keeps and never settle for short. So bring your game when you come to my town. We snatch and crowds. You get embarrassed on the court after you shook to the ground. You get respected when you prove you get down. So say the joke for the clowns. And NYC we known to go a few rounds. This is the city where you're forced to go hard. You'll get booed out of Dodge and shown the door being the weakest on squads. Rucker Park and summer nights they stay live. Brothers play for the pride and bragging rights on who's the king of NY. So grab the pill and prepare to go hard. Pick your 12-man squad. Orange and blue better believe we go hard. This for my city, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah. For my city, never pretty. New York City, sing it with me. Yeah. For my city, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City, sing it with me. New York City said it with me. Hey, Harwell, Steals the Great. Knicks Talk Nation Radio. It's Monday.
Whoa.
Officially the end of the season.
Yo,
Knicks
are
are
gonna hold you.
What
That
up?
intro is
Good looking, bro. Word them over.
that intro. I be rocking every time it come off.
Yeah.
For real. People gonna smile. I'm telling you, that intro gonna stick.
Yo, listen, man. I did that when Melo came here, man. That was
I remember.
8 years ago.
You sent it
Word
to me. I
up.
was like, wow. You see how things are though?
Yeah,
Things come to fruition, man. That's dope.
that's a fact, man. I did that 8 years ago, man. I was hyped. I thought the Knicks was gonna win the championship that year. We had Stat and Melo in their prime. Boy,
For my city.
word, man, for real. I woke up like 4 a.m. Like I heard the beat. I was like, yo, I need that. You know what I mean? Word
That's
up.
a nice intro.
Mike
Right.
Ray, what's happening, champ? I see you. Yeah, man. But we got a lot to talk about, man. You know, the Knicks definitely solidified their position in the Eastern Conference,
Yes.
4th seed. You know what I'm saying? Home court advantage. Now, you know, we had this conversation yesterday on air about, you know, where, you know, if we're gonna be disappointed if they don't win this playoff series, and you was saying one thing and I was saying another. But before we start, let's talk about that, man. Let's jump around a little bit. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, like I said yesterday, right? I wanted to be clear that I don't want it to seem like I don't want to beat Atlanta, and I think we could beat Atlanta. I do think we could beat Atlanta. What I'm saying is that that's not going to change my opinion on them, because I can't do that if I didn't expect for us to even be a 4th seed. Now, maybe I may feel different after, because then it's like you're a 4th seed and then you lose to Atlanta. We beat them every game this season.
Yes.
You know, you start to be like that a little bit. I get it. But I'm not, because I did not expect them to be this good. And that's only keeping it real with your team, because they did way more than what we expected them to do.
That's what's up. And shout out to my brother Reg Long. We see you, champ. Welcome, bro.
What's good, brothers? Peace. What's happening? Peace. What's happening?
What's going on, bro? What's going on? So me and Harwell was just in the middle of the conversation, man, talking about you know, expectations. Like, cause I shifted my gears, man. Once we solidified that we were a good team and we are now the 4th seed, I'll be highly upset if we don't beat Atlanta in the first round. What's your take on that, Reg? You know what I'm saying? Because I know we might have different perspectives on that.
I think I would agree. We should be able to take the Hawks in 7. Now, I would say they should get some. No. It shouldn't go all 7. But I'm saying in a 7-game series, we should be able to beat them 4 games out of 7. We should beat the Hawks. I agree.
I was going to say, if it go to 7, then anybody can win, because playing against Trae Young, he can have a good game. So if you chancing it to go to 7 against the Hawks, then That's kind of what I mean. So you can't really feel like if we don't beat. I mean, I agree, but I disagree in a way. But I agree. I want us to beat the Hawks, so I got to.
It ain't no want. They have to beat the Hawks. I'm gonna be highly upset. Like I was upset the other night when they lost to the Lakers. I haven't been that mad after a game in a long time. So that just
we
means
lost the fourth spot,
huh?
Because you thought we lost the fourth spot.
No. It's just that was a game we had no business losing.
I agree.
Not just the seeding. Go ahead, Reg.
I agree. I think, I agree with you. I think the expectations are different now. So, like, coming into the season, I just wanted to make the playoffs. Now we're here. We have to perform. We have to keep the same energy. Now, if we get into the playoffs and we're excited about just making the playoffs, that's not it. That's not the mentality. We have to be thinking we can take the Hawks. We have to win. Randall is the Eastern Conference player in the month of April. He has to stay hot. RJ Barrett has to come in and be like, I'm here. This is why I want to be in New York. Those guys that want to be in New York, they got to play up.
They have to.
And we have home court advantage. Sorry, not to cut you off. And we have home court advantage. So there's no reason we should not beat Atlanta. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They have weapons. The Knicks should win flat out.
Nah, they do have great weapons.
And the coach.
Yes.
And our coach. We got the coach. We got Tibbs.
Yes.
We should have edge in that. So he should, from being hardened and having the strategy, he should be able to scheme us with the talent that we have to beat the Hawks, in my opinion.
And Tibbs just got a coach of the month too, man. He should get coach of the year, hands down. And we had a conversation about this as well between Phoenix's coach, between who else is in the running? Mike Malone in Denver. I just think that all of those teams have solidified stars and high draft picks that are in their lineup performing right now. Tibbs came back with the same team last year that won half of the amount of games that they won this year. He got Julius Randle into the best shape of his life. He's playing out of his mind. They got him projected as being an all-NBA player this year. I don't understand how, they won't consider him as a runaway coach of the year. It shouldn't even be close because all those other teams have solidified stars. What's your thoughts on that? Salute to Lawrence Mayberry as well. See you, bro.
Go ahead, bro. You could give your take first.
I agree. I mean, you got this team that's ahead of schedule. Let's say I don't think anybody, a Knicks fan, if you're honest with yourself, I don't think you could have predicted this. They had 18 wins last year.
Hold on. Yo, Reg. And I be killing Moke about this too. Because I remember when I said I said in the December.
Remember what I said yesterday?
40 wins. Yes, you did say that, Hardwood.
That means we just talk crazy as Knicks fans sometimes. It don't mean it was going to happen.
Yo, no.
The bad beatings we took for so many years made us crazy, man.
No, man.
You don't agree with that?
We had 18
like if you
wins,
keep getting beat up. It's like if you keep getting your beat up, yo, it's gonna make you crazy, man. You start making all type of assumptions, man. You was crazy, bugging out that day. You had a long day. You had 4 shows. It's a long day for you that day. That's like a Mega Million ticket right there. You just hit. You should. I wish I would have put Vegas bet on that. Boy, we would have been cashing in yesterday like a mo.
And I'm mad I didn't bet on it. Nah, but let me give you my logic on it really quick, right? So, me coming into the season, I felt like, what's his name, man? DSJ, Dennis Smith Jr. was gonna come back and perform.
Don't say that again.
No. I'm just giving you my logic.
No, you said that yesterday. No,
I'm giving you my logic, man.
All right,
I just felt like DSJ was gonna come in looking like the North Carolina State DSJ under Tibbs because he like athletic guards. So I based it off of that, and then we ended up trading for Derrick Rose, and it ended up working out anyway. So hear me out.
Sent him out of there.
Would you, huh?
Who you think sent DSJ out of there?
Tibbs sent him out of here because he didn't pay.
Not only that, he wanted Rose, but then it's like I said yesterday, not to cut you, he's not nowhere near Rose. That's the problem. He just athletic. He don't have the timing. He don't have the skill. And now you already knew what Derrick Rose had before. He just proven it now that he can still really do that same floater. That's vintage Derrick Rose. I never seen no vintage Dennis Smith Jr. So to even compare them, that's not the same type of conversation.
No.
That's like eating lobster and he like crown chicken. To me.
Hold on. You acting
Dennis
like
Smith Jr.?
You acting like he wasn't killing in Dallas in his first year.
Nah, bro, he only got hops. I'm gonna keep it real with you. The Knicks passed up on him in that same draft. Keep it real.
They did.
Okay, so they knew he was fooled. They took him in a deal to clean that other mess up. Keep it real.
Well, KP?
Yeah, they knew what was Dennis Smith Jr. going to possibly do. They didn't even want him in this mix right here. Let me tell you why. Because he don't know how to play fundamental sound basketball like with these guys that we have had. He think it's all about athleticism, like a kind of like Russell Westbrook, where Russell Westbrook has his timing and his scoring down pat. Dennis Smith Jr. does not.
But again, that my whole point was that Tibbs, I felt, was going to probably get him into that type of form. It didn't happen. They ended up trading for Derrick Rose, and I'm not mad at that. So that was one factor. The second factor was I knew that they was going to play defense this year. With Tibbs, the moves that they made in the offseason, I said, okay, you brought in Nerlens Noel. You know what I mean? We got Alec Burke. You know what I mean? The fact that Julius Randle came back in shape and he knew he had to prove himself going into a contract year. I didn't think he was going to be this good. You know what I mean?
Waiting for you to say that because I got a good rebuttal for this. But
go ahead.
I want you to finish. So
and I knew that coaching was going to be the biggest part of their offseason as far as the wins and everything was concerned. I knew that we haven't had a good coach in years. Years. The best coach we had was Mike Woodson before Tom Thibodeau, and they played defense and they had a veteran-led team that helped mellow out. But I just felt like I just knew Tibbs wasn't coming here to rebuild. It was no way. Larry Brown was terrible because we had one of the most talented Knicks teams ever. Stephon Marbury, Jamal Crawford, Zach Randolph, Eddie Curry when he was in his best form. He played like an all-star that year when he was in New York.
Yeah.
And Larry Brown tried to sabotage that whole situation, kid. So he didn't even team. Huh?
They sent the best player on the team home to go watch games. They paid him to go watch Laker games courtside.
Come on. Are you serious?
See the difference is to me, and in reference to what you said, first off, when you said that about Dennis Smith Jr., even though you said, he made that change because he knew that wasn't part of what his plan was.
Yes.
His plan was to get Taj, Rose, to mix with these fundamental guys because they remind me of the old team he had in Chicago.
100%.
That's kind of what I thought about when I seen it. But to make my point, when you said 40, you must have been drinking a 40 that day. Let me tell you why. Because you already put Dennis Smith Jr. in that. There's no way we would have got 40 wins with him. Hold on, let me finish my rebuttal. Dennis Smith Jr. would never have got us 40 wins, number one. Number two, you didn't mention Bullock. Bullock is hitting so many threes and he's clamping people down. I'm gonna give you another.
He's a surprise.
Okay, I'm gonna give another one. You said Randall, you didn't suspect to do all this. So all that on the table already is nowhere near 40. And I could give you more. Barrett, you wasn't saying everybody wanted to trade him. Go back on the shows, and I was like, no, I'm not saying you. I ain't saying you on that one. I'm saying everybody wanted to trade him. Okay. When you mentioned Burke, we knew Burke was good, but nobody knew Burke was gonna come out like this.
I also didn't
come out party for a few Knicks.
I also didn't mention Quickly. When I first saw Quickly, when I was looking at all of the highlights and everything from him, the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, yo, he's a Nick Van Exel type of guy, man. A scoring guard. You know what I mean? That can score in flashes and he can add something to the team. I knew that he was going to make the rotation. I knew that he would, even though he was a late first rounder, I knew he was going to make the rotation. So that all of that stuff,
that proves who we are.
Yeah.
To pick him in the second round. Yeah. That's management stepping up better now because that's this right here. When you could never let Quickly pass it, and Toppin is coming up
and him now. Too. Yeah. That was a factor too. I thought that he would have played more of a role, but the way that Randall is playing, it didn't work out. You know what I mean?
I got another point for you.
Oh, we got our guest on the line.
Look at this point right here for you, right? Yeah. How did they draft Toppin? and he's in the same position as Randall. So they didn't even expect Randall to do this. Plus, we got Randall for the low. So take into consideration that, like I said on our other show, Stills, we lucked up and nobody took our money. Let's keep it real. It ain't got nothing else to do with it. We wanted those other guys. We lucked up and they turned down our bag. Now we still got the bag and we got all this talent right here. So my main point is don't add too much because it might mess up our chemistry. Spend the money wisely. Yeah, because we did that in the past. Remember I said that? In the past, we give up all the guys we build up for a star and it mess up our chemistry. So my main point is I want to stick what we have. They did way more than what we expected. I proved that point because that wouldn't have been 40 wins without Bullock, without Julius. That's a good point against what you said.
That's a fact.
And Dennis Smith Jr. No way.
I thought that he was
wouldn't have got 25 wins with him being the starting point guard.
We're gonna have to have this argument again.
He can't hit a jump shot.
Hold on, Will.
Barrett is already better than him, and Barrett only been in the league for a little bit of time. Keep it real, bro. Like, come on, Dennis Smith, you better go work out.
Shout out to my brother.
On that hat. Who just came in the building?
We got Flig. Shout out to Fligga.
Shout out to Fligga in the building.
Yo, what's the word? What's good, man?
Yeah, you hear what's going on over here?
Too phone savvy, so I had to do the little mixing around to get to this joint. I'm like, what the hell I gotta do?
You just click on the link, bro. It's a little dark in your background. I don't know if it's any light. It looks like you in that studio, boy, huh?
The studio, I gotta. Yeah, it's
so good.
What's good though? What's going on?
Hey, man. We good, bro. We good, man. First and foremost, man, thank you for checking in with us, man. I see you working. I see you busy. You know what I mean? And we definitely wanted to get you on the show because I know you know a little bit about sports, man. And the last time you came in station, you had a good chemistry with the fellas, man. So I wanted to invite you back, man. Talk about the project that you're working on and just give people a little bit more idea of who you are as an artist, man. So for the listeners and the watchers that's watching us right now, man, let everybody know who Fligga is and where it's Fligga from.
Yo, everybody, what's up, man? It's Fligga. I was out of Far Rockaway, man. You know, this the kid on the come up, still trying to figure it out like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Just tapping into music, staying focused, doing what I got to do, man. That's it.
No question, man. So Fligga, man, what's your thoughts on this NBA season, man? And what you think about our New York Knicks right now? I don't remember you said you was a Knicks fan, but I know you was giving some good perspectives.
I mean, I'm a basketball. I don't really have a favorite team. I really, it's real good for New York, man. We need this, man. From what we went through, man, we need this, man. It's basketball. It just gives people life, man. Everybody that came up in sports, a lot of people that rap really just came up from sports, man. Basketball, sports, man. So, man, this seeing the Knicks doing their thing, man, I just feel good. I'm happy for them, man. They deserve it. They work hard.
Yes, indeed, man. And you know, I'm happy like a kid in the candy store. My man Hard will be coming for my neck because he said that my 40 Daisy. You know,
I wanted to say, shout out Far Rockaway. That's my hometown too.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Far Rock America. You know what I mean? I was one of the people who started Far Rock America. I don't know if you know. I'm Jihad. I started that when I was managing Lord Superb back in the days. Rest in peace, Lord Superb. Shout out to all my Far Rock people who love his love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in reference to what we were saying about Tibbs, right? Tibbs is just a perfect fit for what a Knick coach is supposed to be. Grit. Now, peep it. Mitchell Robinson, for example, right? He's a perfect fit for a Knick. I would maybe give him up for Karl Anthony Towns, like we said before, but I would want to keep him. Nick, here you go.
How I feel about that?
You feel about that, Fligga?
Cat ain't really got no heart.
Oh my God.
Who don't got heart, Fligga?
He said Cat don't got no heart.
Nah, but he could ball though. He could get some heart if he come over here. We'll make sure he toughen up. I love Mitch because Mitch remind me so much of a Knick, Stills.
Go ahead, Fligga. What you gonna say to that?
And I kind of heard what you were saying when I came in. I kind of feel like Dennis Smith Jr. didn't really get the time that he really needed. I really feel like they took his heart away when they had Trey Burke and all of them over here getting more like to him, and he didn't really get that much time to show something. So his kind of heart was gone. I feel like he didn't feel it like that. He needed to get traded because he couldn't get no burn like that.
So Flig, let me ask you a question.
And we
When
gonna
that happens to you, Flig, right? When they do you like that and they trade you from a team like that, right? What do you do when that team comes to play you, right? What do players normally do?
I'm gonna try to give them a 50 piece.
You know, all right. You know what Dennis Smith Jr. did when the Knicks played them?
What'd he do?
Nothing. Nah, I'm keeping like I do this. So I'm just explaining to you that when he got that chance, when we went there, we cooked them boys up. Seriously.
Yeah.
And he did not do nothing.
Wow.
And they let Derrick Rose go, and Derrick Rose coming over here doing that. That's why I said that's crown chicken and Red Lobster right there. You can't do that. D Rose got $200 million from Adidas. What did they give Dennis Smith Jr. If y'all want to talk money?
All right, you got
that. Don't go there, yo, bro. Don't.
You're right.
And the other thing about that, okay.
Reg agree with me, right, Reg? Who you agree with, Reg?
I agree with you.
Okay.
Dennis Smith Jr. has a lot of potential. The problem is clearly he didn't defend well enough to play.
He could jump a lot.
He didn't. He can't defend. If you don't defend, why do you think Elfrid Payton is still running the point? Because he defends. He don't care what he gives them. He got enough offense. Elfrid Payton does what he's supposed to do, and he defends. That's the only reason he's still starting over quickly. He looked like a Knick. If quickly get to he looked like you say, he looked like my brother said, he looked like a Knick. And somebody in the chat said Mitchell Robinson gives you Canby type vibes.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
right. Somebody you've seen before. That's a great reference.
Yes. And I would keep him over Towns if it would help the other guys keep on growing, because Towns is going to produce points. But I don't want to take away from that other production that we getting from those other guys that's making us a good team without having to buy somebody like Towns, or they're going to want our pieces for him. And why give them up for him?
Yeah.
They're going to want Quickly. Quickly is going to be in that trade for Towns. They're going to want Quickly. They're going to want somebody else. And here's the other thing. Karl Anthony Towns demands touches. Randall doesn't really get touches. They don't really necessarily run plays for him. He kind of gets his. I don't know if we're getting that with Cat. And then here's another reference. I'm always concerned with these guys that play in places like Minnesota and things like that and put up numbers, because there always has to be a guy. There always has to be a guy on every team. Somebody's got to get the stats, right? So now you bring this guy with all these stats in Minnesota. Let's say that it only translates to 10 and 10. What we already getting from Mitchell Robinson, are we getting our money worth? That's a concern for me always.
Nah, that's a decent concern for sure. So let's turn it back to the guests. I don't want to keep them here too long. I just wanted to pop up, man, chop it up real quick. So Flig, tell us about your project, man. That's coming up, man. Your Bar Rockaway project, man. Tell us about that, man, and tell us what they should be expecting from that album.
I just recently did my first video for it, so I kind of just went through every part of Far Rockaway, just embracing people that I really fuck with out there. I just kept it straight, mostly Rockaway. Like I have no people on there, just me. It's a solo project, no anything. Yeah, so I just want to kind of show people what Far Rockaway is about, because Far Rockaway got a black cloud, man. They just think that it's just straight shootings and killings, and it's not like that. People really trying to grow out there, man. Like I came from the time where it was a lot going on, but now it's changing. So I just want to kind of show people that ain't like that no more, and just give them a good side of part about Far Rockaway.
And let them know what part of Far Rockaway you grew up in.
Yeah, exactly. Edgemere, man. I grew up in Edgemere, kid. That's where I'm from, man. The grit.
Wow.
It's nothing like growing up from the grit. You know what I mean? Like that's where I grew up from, so I know exactly what you mean. I can relate. And as you grow, like you grow to be professional, you grow to do your business better no matter what field you in. And that's basically what it's all about. And then people gonna follow your lead and appreciate what you do. Like when I seen Flea and them called you in the studio and they did all of that, that hasn't really been happening. So when you see things like that, it changed the narrative and it have more people want to help each other. Because it's like, if I got a bag and he don't got a bag and you ain't helping him, it like, you know what I mean? It makes it so competitive. And it's not like everybody sharing. So, I wish you luck though, man. Definitely keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Hard will. If I ever get up with you, I get you some hard will. But hard will stand for like you willing to go hard. And I know it's hard for you coming from there. So just be willing to go hard. You know what I mean? And all the doors keep closing in front of you. One day, one gonna open. And that's all you gotta remember.
100%.
But wasn't Far Rock America like a movement that was supposed to be uniting everybody in Far Rockaway anyway back at that time though, Harwell?
I mean, when I started it, I managed Lord Superb. I worked for the Wu for like 6 years. You know what I'm saying? I used to work for Power, and Perb was on Ghost albums. He was in Black and White, and I used to take him to all those meetings, and that was our idea. We wanted to do music more. You know what I mean? Perb kind of, as we got older, we went our different ways, but it was just something that we started as a name. You see, when Stack first came out, and he was like, Perb made it possible. He was shouting out certain things.
Yeah.
That was really early on. We started Leakware. Me and Chidal started Leakware too. That's another thing we did from Far Rockaway. I was one of the dudes that started that. We started Leakware, and that's around the same time I started working with the Wu with Perb. So I was doing both of that at the same time. But Far Rock America was like me and Perb's record label idea. That's basically what it was. And that's why I always say I started it with Perb, because I was like the person who took care of the business. He was the rapper. We had artists and everything, you know what I mean? It was fun when we did it. Rest in peace, Perb. So that's why I had some advice for him, just to let him know, like, I understand what he's going through. It's rough from coming from there. It is a black cloud. I understand. And honestly, you got to move away, because that's what happened with me. I moved away, and it was easier for me. So you can move away and still rep your hood, because sometimes you got to move away to finish your work. And it's like when you move away, people from another place to support you more. I know it sounds harsh, but it's just true. And in business, you got to deal with those facts. Don't deal with feelings. And then you'll see your success. Like me and Stills was just talking about how we do so much and people don't show us love, because people want to have things, the same things we got. But we can't worry about that. When they get theirs, they'll understand how it was for us, somebody to have something, and they'll understand what we go through just to keep our business going. So keep pushing, man. And hopefully you hear some of the strong words of advice I got for you, because everything you hear is for a reason.
Word, man. Now, Fligga is my guy. I support him with whatever he do, man. He came through, showed love. He came early to his interview with us, man. He came before the staff. You know what I mean? So
I see what he's doing.
Is there, man. His work
That's the work
ethic.
ethic. That's the work ethic. That's going to get you there for sure, man. And I see what, not to jump in, but I see what the brothers are talking about is the legacy. I mean, this is it. It sounds like this is the Far Rock connections, you know.
Yes,
indeed. And the brother, it sounds like he's carrying the torch, and that's all you can ask for.
Oh, nah. Right. No, Flig, let them know where to tap into your music at too, man, for people that may not be familiar, man.
Our music everywhere, man. It's on Apple, it's on Tidal, it's on Spotify, YouTube. I gotta just, you know, it's crazy just coming from the rock. It's like you gotta work 20 times harder. But it's fine though. Like I don't have an issue with it. It's making me challenge myself. And I always challenge myself coming with music and with everything. I challenge myself. So it's like he made a lot of sense of how this people hear, yo, I say, yo, I'm from Far Rockaway. They just look at me like, damn, this boy about to like act up today in here and shit like that. And it's not even like that. I'm cool on the other side of the pillow. I got kids. I ain't trying to be out here doing. I'm just like everybody else. But it's sad. But he's absolutely right, man. I get a lot of love way other places more than Far Rockaway. That's the crazy part.
Yep.
Shout out with that.
Yeah, shout out to the Truth Staten, man, because he rock with you, boy. The Truth rock with you hard.
That's my dude.
Yeah, he came on last week to Knicks Talk Nation, man. Had a great show. He a huge Knicks fan. He been shouting us out on his page, reposting a lot of our stuff, man, showing us a lot of love, man. So shout out to the Truth as well, man.
Shout out to the Truth.
Word, man. But you did basically tell everybody where they could support everything, man. But Flig, before we let you go, man, honest opinion, how far do you think the Knicks can go in the playoffs this year?
So they play Atlanta first. I feel like they could win that easily. I feel like I'm not gonna say too. Trae Young, man, he's a problem, but I feel like the Knicks they gonna bully them. I feel like they gonna put that New York defense on them. Like Trae, they ain't used to that, man. Knicks play physical, man.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Do that for 7 games. It's gonna be. I feel like it might be a little problem with the Bucks, but who knows? Miami might take the Bucks out. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yo, Fig, you know why you got a good point,
man.
Yo, Fig, you know why? Because look, I was watching and they was like, see how we was number 1 in defense already, right?
Yeah.
So you know, in the playoffs, it's like turning the volume up. So imagine how the Knicks gonna be coming at Atlanta. It's gonna be serious. We might get into a fight.
And they play at the Garden. They play home. They're gonna set the tone.
Yeah, we got home court advantage right now, man, and that's gonna be on our side. You know what I mean? I definitely can't wait to the season start, playoff season start, man. And you know, I think that like Flig just said, if Miami ends up bumping somebody like Milwaukee, and we end up playing Miami in the second round, if we get past Atlanta, who knows what can happen from there? Maybe
once you're in the playoffs, all bets are off. Everybody's record is 0-0. So you know, we got to put them in the mixer, like you're saying about Tibbs. I think Tibbs got something up his sleeve that he hasn't shown anybody yet. I mean, he might break out the UNLV amoeba on somebody. I don't know. He might have something we've never seen before from the Knicks.
That's a fact.
You know what I respect about Tibbs? He always adjusts. He go with what's working at the time. He don't say, "Yo, I'm gonna let the starters play most of the game." If Quickly and Burks is cooking together, they gonna keep them in the game. He gonna let them go. He don't out the game. Like Burks had like 30 the other game. Like they won without D Rose and all. I'm like, yo, Tibbs really adjusts to the game a lot, and I respect that from him.
Yeah, and that's smart too. You know why? Because that rests D Rose at the same time. So you got to give Tibbs credit for that, because that's just great coaching right there. Because he resting somebody who's been putting in a lot of work, and other people is giving us great minutes now, and that's got to be due to great coaching, because he wasn't playing topping like that. You even see Frank the Tank Nikita getting out there for a couple minutes.
He hit a jump shot the other night. I was like, oh my god.
Yo, good shooting is contagious, bro. Like for real.
I mean, and like you said earlier about RJ Barrett, that shot is going down. He was not hitting those shots a year ago. He's put in the work. We talk about Randall, but RJ Barrett has put in the work too.
Nah, that's shit, man.
You know what we got to give Randall a lot of credit for, Stills? I'm gonna be honest, and this is what I really want to tell you. Yo, he's really getting good at making the right read. He's giving the ball to the person on time to hit all of those shots.
He is.
Bullock, Rose, even with the floater when they slashing in the middle. Yo, you got to give him credit for that, because that's basketball. Yeah, he hitting the three and all. Like, he has to. But he's making the reads off the double, man. Like,
and that's Tibbs. That's Tibbs' influence 100%.
I mean, but you can't get a coach credit for your IQ.
I agree.
He's helping them, but you can't. I think that's more. I mean, he's putting him in position. I agree, but that boy IQ is getting better. I got to give him credit for that, man.
No doubt. I think it's the cohesive unit, like you're saying, and like messing with the chemistry.
Everything together is working good. I think good and good goes good together.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Good and good. Keep doing good.
So we're gonna get back to some Knicks talk. I just want to tell Flig, man. Flig, we appreciate you, champ. I see you in the station, in the studio working, man. I just wanted you to come through, promote what you're doing, man. Let everybody know when your album is coming out, man, and what people can look forward to with your music, man. So just let everybody know when your project drops again, man, and you know, where everybody can find your music one more time.
Honestly, still, I ain't gonna fry. I don't got a date for it.
No date?
No date.
Are you just gonna drop it like how Hov gonna be doing?
On the same thing I dropped my video, I'm gonna drop the tape the same day. But
okay.
But it's coming sooner than you think, though.
Nah, listen, man. I respect your music. I respect your grind, man. I respect everything that you're doing, man. And you know that I'm gonna support you 1,000%, man. Whenever you got something, you ready to let it go, man. Let it fly. You already know you got a spot up at Bars and Hoops Radio, man. To let it go. You heard?
Appreciate y'all, man. Thanks.
I got you too, man. I got you too. Do it for the rock, man. Anything I see, I'm gonna support you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna always tell people I listen to some of your stuff. I'm gonna keep listening, you know, and just keep doing what you're doing, because you never know when it's gonna hit that lick for you, you know. That's and another thing before you go, last thing I want to tell you is this: you in a time now where you could control your own destiny, like that app where you got your record company on an app, or certain things where you independent. So get your money, keep working. You know what I mean? And then you own your stuff, and you're going to have fans, and they're going to keep buying your music. One hit record and more records going to keep more fans coming, man. All right? Nice meeting you, bro.
All right, man. Good to speak to y'all, man. Thank you.
All right, Flig. Good looking, bro.
Peace. Salute, bro.
All right. Yeah, shout out to Fligga, man. That's my guy, man. Y'all can really tap into his music, man. Talented young brother from Far Rockaway, man. Really good, man. Really, really good, man. And
there's a lot of talent out there, Stills.
Yeah, definitely a lot of talent, man. But let's get back to this Knicks talk, man. So, a lot of people was surprised that we hit 40. We were supposed to get close to 50. If you think about it. Look, yeah.
There you go with this Max Kettleman stuff.
We're supposed to have at least, I could count 5 games. I could count 5 games that we had no business losing, kid, to add on to this 41 that we got. That game back in February, that Miami game where we blew the fourth quarter lead at home, lost that game. We lost to Philly.
You like that parent that my son got 5 home runs today. I want him to get 8 home runs tomorrow.
I'm just saying because everybody making it seem like it's so hard to believe they won 40, but they could have won well over 40. They blew a lot of games in the fourth quarter.
But still, that's hindsight. That's hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. Now that we already got 40 games, right? I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I saw us making the playoffs. I didn't see 40 games, bro. We won 18 games last year. We doubled it and put some more on it. I didn't see that.
So how y'all seen us making the playoffs by winning 30-something games?
The East is weak. Somebody made the playoffs.
Look at right now. We'd have been in the playoff at least. We would have been in that tournament at least.
If we won 35 games, we in the playing tournament.
Yeah, we in the playing tournament.
I saw 40, man. I'm sorry.
I definitely didn't see a 4th seed. There's no way I could have predicted we was going to be a 4th.
That's how you could tell that was like a lottery, Stills, because most of the commentators, even me, even him, nobody saw that but you. That's why I said I wish I would have put in a bet. Vegas would have paid.
No, I'd have got paid. I would have got paid a lot of money. For real.
Genius. But I told you, I think maybe you had a 40 ounce of Old English that day. We gonna win 40.
Shout out to Nick, man. He said, imagine if it was an 82-game season. Imagine if it was. We'd have probably won 50 games.
Nah, man. People need to stop that. Imagine this, imagine that. Then imagine if it was that, then we'd be in the play-in because we lost 6 in a row. Listen, man, if we won all those games in a row and then we lose 6, like it happens in the NBA. People need to stop. All right, I got a good question for you, Stills.
Let's go.
I asked you this already, so I know the answer, so it's a trick question.
Let's go.
What position did you think they was going to make the playoffs in?
I had them at 7.
So you can't be saying all of this other stuff then. That's like a contradiction, bro. That's why I call it Max Kettleman.
How was it? Because I had
Max Kettleman said you're in the 4th seed and you should be beating the Hawks now because now get out of here. You was just saying we wasn't going to make the playoffs 2 weeks ago, Max.
But what's wrong with saying 7? Like, 7 was unrealistic for 40?
No. I'm not saying you wrong. I'm just saying that, honestly speaking, that you picked way off from 4, and we did more than even you expected. So how can we let you down? That's the easiest way I could explain what I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah.
You're being greedy. You like that kid parent. He got 3 home runs today. Next game, you want him to have 5.
That's right. You got chill
out. Nah, don't do that to your son. Still,
man. Kobe, man, you gotta have a Mamba mentality. I'm sorry.
Oh man,
and that's Julius Randle is the Mamba connection. He played. Yes. He said he learned his work ethic from the Mamba.
That's a fact. That's a whole fact.
I could believe that.
And you know who else?
The story I heard was they were on the road and he was getting ready to go hang out with some friends or something like that. And he saw Kobe ran into him in the elevator. And Kobe was like, "Where you going?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm going to hang out." He's like, "Nah, we going to the gym." And ever since then,
he said every city that he landed in, before he turned it in, he finds a gym to get up some shots at night too. That's crazy.
They say RJ Barrett's a gym rat too. They say they had to remember not a couple of weeks ago, Tibbs had to close the gym to keep them out. He didn't want them to burn themselves out. That's the thing. And the other point I wanted to make is about Karl Anthony Towns. If he's going to be a Knick, he has to say, "I want to be a Knick." Julius Randle wants to be a Knick. These guys want to be a Knick. We don't need him if he just wants the New York, the big lights and bright city. He's got to want it. In my opinion.
Yep.
Because we don't need a Kevin Love 2.0 in New York City. We don't need those stats because that's what legit could happen if he really doesn't want it.
And shout out to
Robert. Play in New York City.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Robert, man, for shouting out the defense, man. And a fun fact, man. So the 2021 New York Knicks are one of two teams in NBA history to finish first in opponents' points per game, field goal percentage, and three-point field goal percentage. The other team to accomplish that feat was the 1992-93 New York Knicks. So that's saying something.
20 years. We got the second best record in 20 years. Right now. Yes. That's saying a lot.
Yes.
20 years is a very long time. That's a grown man right there.
Yes, indeed.
That's bad. That's what I'm trying to say. We came along with, like, we've been beat up. And it made Knicks fans delusional.
20 years. So hold on. 20 years.
Years and years of trauma.
It was 8 years because we won 54 games 8 years ago and lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, man. So stop.
Amari Stoudemire punching the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, and he ruined us too, like because he was jealous of Melo, and that's a whole nother thing. Like a lot of fans is torn between the Melo trade, like comparing this team to that same team that Amari Stoudemire had playing well. Nah, totally different team. Totally different team. Melo came and elevated the Knicks. I don't care what nobody
Weren't
says.
we a 1 seed that year? That was crazy.
Yes.
Weren't we like a 1 or we were like a 1 seed? 1 or 2 seed. My bad.
Yeah, we was a 2 seed because Miami was, you know what I mean, was Miami during that time. Go ahead, Hardwell. I see.
Take Miami, man.
This is a better team. This is a better team because it's a young team that's showing things really fast. And for Randall, Taj Gibson, Rose, those are veterans. And Randall, to me, he's not really a veteran, but he's been in the league. He should have had his come out party already, even though he did cool. It's not too late, you know, but like, let's be honest. Barrett, quickly, like they showing faster production than a lot of players. And that's what you got to look at our young Knicks. And we have the money still. That's
the biggest thing. 40 million in cap space still.
We just can't spend it wrong. It's like having American Express and you could go in the mall and buy anything. Don't go crazy. Don't go to the car lot and don't buy the V8. To be
the all Gucci outfit ain't it. The all Gucci outfit, the Gucci man on Versus ain't it. It's expensive, but that's not stop.
You can't play D in the Gucci outfit. Nah, man. We need somebody. We got to judge their character beforehand. That's what we're gonna start doing. Our next shows, we want to figure who we want. So we're gonna start judging their dress code, everything. Is he good enough to be a Knick?
All right, let's pull up.
What type of shoes he wears? Stills? Nah, he can't be a Knick.
Yeah. Let me Google Cat right now. Let me see what this walk is.
He might not be a good fit for us. I don't know.
Shout out the chat, man. Robert Parr's in the chat. He said we can beat teams that have better individual talent than us. We are collectively better than the majority of these teams out here. That's a whole fact. And he also added, our bench needs to stay productive during the playoffs. One of the best in the league. That's a fact too. The bench is definitely.
Our problem is we get a lead and then we just get relaxed. A lot of teams do that. In the NBA and the playoffs, hopefully they don't do that.
Yeah.
Like we have to keep our leads. But I did notice like sometime now we got a little lead. You see Derrick Rose, certain people just start making buckets to try to keep it going. Like the other day against Boston, I didn't like that game. Kind of like I felt like
they played down to their competition.
Yes, exactly.
Played down to their competition. And one thing I'm gonna say is this, right? So on that West Coast swing, when we lost those back-to-back games to Denver and Phoenix, it clearly, and I told you this before, Caldwell, it showed us where our weaknesses are. We needed a floor general that can control the tempo of the game in crunch time, calm the troops down, get everybody in position, not forcing up bad shots with the clock shot when the shot clock is down to 2 seconds like they was doing the other day, and it was driving me nuts. Derrick Rose kept giving the ball to Julius Randle with 7 to 8 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Shout out to Reds. What that say, Reds? You can't see it, bro.
That's called Anthony Towns wardrobe. Bro, look at this fit, man. This is
not a Knick. It's not a Knick. Yo, you see what Mitchell Robinson had on the other day? He had on some regular, like he just wore anything, a t-shirt that was too small for him. I'm like, he's a Knick. He's a Knick.
Listen, man.
Hooper. I like.
We can't have nobody with a sequin jacket, bro. We can't. That ain't
it ain't gonna fit. Now, in reference to what you said, what you were saying, like to me personally, we got to finish these games. We can't let no lead go. But at the end of the day, it is growth in our losses because when we lose, we learn something. We can't win anything and everything. I mean, and remember, we went on a winning streak that nobody expected. So when we lose, we have to be real fans of our team. Like, that's not fair. That's not a good fan to be like, oh, like I see people doing that. I don't even want to hear their opinion because it doesn't make sense to critique your team that way, and they doing way better than you expected them to do still.
Yeah. Wow. Yo, shout out to Nick, man. He said, did you see that Mitch is 272 pounds now? I didn't see that.
He been eating McDonald's.
Yeah, he had to be in McDonald's, supersize me, everything.
His foot, he can't work out. And his foot broken, so he can't run like that.
Man,
no. He's actually doing individual drills. They need to upgrade him to 3-on-3 and 5-on-5. Tibbs said that they might bring him back during the playoffs. What y'all think about that? That's smart enough.
That's a good idea because him and Noel is good together. Yeah,
that's 10 fouls. That's 10 fouls.
And he gonna give good fouls. He gonna block your shot or get a foul. Bring him back.
We're gonna need those fouls
to see what Noel's doing.
We're gonna need those fouls if we have to play Giannis or Bam. We're gonna need all those fouls.
That's a fact. They need to use Pele too. That's
maybe.
a body.
I don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening because he hasn't done it. Tibbs hasn't done it
at all. Right? He didn't play him at all.
But it's playoffs.
He just kind of, he's a cheerleader. But I'm saying,
you know why?
Mitch is back. It's Mitch's back.
No, Taj is playing so good. I think that's why.
That's it.
Taj is playing really well, and Noel is playing really well.
He knows what you're gonna get from Taj. You may not have all the athleticism or youth and scoring. You're gonna get a lunch.
Grit.
Taj from Fort Greene. He's from Brooklyn.
Grit.
That's it.
Grit.
That's right. And for
that's
those
why he wears 67. That's PS 67 in the fort.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And for those of you in the chat that want to call in and chime in and add your point of view, man, don't forget the number to call in is 516-206-0711. The phone lines are open for those that want to chime in and talk about it. You know what I mean? Forgot to activate the phone lines now that our guest is gone. But yeah, Taj is definitely a good look for us, man. Veteran leadership, big body. I think that him and Rose are going to help us as far as playoff experience is concerned. But my biggest fear is just like, teams reverting to that ISO ball in the playoffs, man, because teams are going to double and triple team Julius Randle like they've been doing in those bad losses, man.
That's bad for them too.
Huh?
That's a big mistake for them if they do that. Still, they're playing so good right now for them to sleep.
The shooters are knocking them down.
Yeah.
Especially with Burke back.
Yeah.
And Barrett, he's unconscious. Like he can miss a shot and don't even remember. He's gonna make the next one, and that's what I'm giving him credit for that. And quickly is hitting them. Randall's hitting his threes. You got to play honest D on everybody, and that makes Randall have a good one-on-one advantage. And he's hitting it fade away from the elbow.
Yeah, but you gotta admit he's hitting a lot of tough shots and taking a lot of bad shots. And in the playoffs, when those miss, there is more magnified. Like, damn, this dude is like really
shoot, Stills.
Yeah.
Shoot. You see Lillard, what he did in the playoffs? Them dudes is shooting. You shoot more. You shoot more.
That's why we need the Nerlens Noels and the Mitchell Robinsons, because that's their game. Get the board and put it back in. Or tap it out. You see,
I'm glad you
how
said
valuable
that.
has the Nerlens tap outs?
No, I'm glad you said that. You know why? I was about to say that Mitchell Robinson is so motivated to come back to seeing what Noels is doing. He's balling. Noels is balling. He's playing, and Mitch they was getting better together. Remember that before he got hurt. That's who they play against in practice.
That's a fact. And shout out to Nick Man. Nick Man said that Tibbs should put Alfred Payton on the shelf in the playoffs. I don't listen, man. As bad as people get on Alfred Payton, he plays defense. He plays hard. People just don't like him for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
6'5". That's why he's out there.
Yeah. He's not as bad as he's not Frank Ntilikina. I'll tell you that much.
Stills, he kind of remind me of a Nick. I don't love him, but he got a Nick because he played defense and he's not soft. He's not scared to guard one of the good players on another team, and you need that on your team.
Yeah, he plays hard.
I'm gonna tell you who he reminds me of. He doesn't have the game, but he reminds me of like a Derek Harper at the time when we were going to the playoffs. He's got that kind of slow, he doesn't knock down the shots like he does, but like the way he moves. He's not super athletic. He's very methodical, but you know what he's going to do, and he's defending. But
Yes.
Derek Harper, Derek Harper, when we had him at the end of his career, he kind of reminds me of him without the jump shot.
Yeah, without the jump for real.
And Peyton would give you maybe 6 points sometime out of the blue, maybe 10. You never know. Like, and he hit the three.
Drop a floater on somebody, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know he had that. So he never shoots.
So let me ask y'all a question, man. So y'all know that teams are going to be loading up to stop Julius Randle in the playoffs, man. Who do y'all think is going to step up to help the Knicks during this playoff series against Atlanta?
Whoever's open.
Reg?
Whoever's open. No, I'm
It's
saying whoever's open.
RJ Barrett.
Whoever's
open, but it's got to be RJ Barrett.
But Reg, remember we just said he making the right read? Remember Randall? So it's going to be whoever open, and everybody's playing so good. When your team is winning that long of a win streak on a playoff stretch before the playoffs, that's not easy to do. And everybody acting like that because, they want to be quiet because the Knicks doing it. But all honesty, we playing really good ball right now. So whoever's open is going to make the shot, I think.
Here's the reason why I say RJ Barrett, because I feel like if like what Steels is saying, if they load up on Randall, they're going to be denying him the ball, so he may not even get a touch. So then it's got to be RJ Barrett.
Look what he just said. My bad, Steels. He said quickly Burks and Bullock. I agree with Robert Paul because I already said he never mentioned Bullock. Bullock is knocking everything down. So is quickly, and Burks is too. That means you got to play honest D on everybody.
Mm-hmm. But I agree with Reg with the RJ Barrett point, because one thing that RJ Barrett has shown us, even in his college career, in big games, he does rise to the occasion. Like when he played at Duke, he played big. You know what I mean? I think that this is going to be his first playoff series in the NBA. I think he might surprise some people because, like I said, man, they're going to definitely try to take Julius Randle out of the mix. He has to be one to step up. He has to be.
I don't expect him to do that.
You don't?
And I won't be upset. No, I wouldn't be upset because he still needs time to learn the playoffs.
This day, Reg.
Look, Stills, listen.
Remember this day,
you just said this is his first playoffs. And once I heard that, I'm like, yes. So automatically in my mind, he got a pass.
He was
long
a
as he
freshman
make his shots. Okay.
He was a freshman in Duke.
No, let me tell you why I don't agree, because you can't compare what he could do in college to NBA playoffs. That's not a good comparison.
No, I'm just saying big games. I'm just saying the moment. The moment isn't too big for him. Like
he needs time for the playoffs. Maybe next year, maybe the year after that. That's when I think. No, let me tell you who. I think Burks. Look, let me make my main point now. I think Burks is going to step up more. Bullock. These guys been in the league way longer. Randall, if he get doubled, that guy's going to step up. Whoever else have a little bit more experience in the league. Not saying Barrett's not going to hit his shot if he's open. But if he doesn't do what you say he's going to do, it's because it's his first year in the playoffs.
Well, the only way that we're going to win is if he has a big series. They're not going to let Julius Randle kill us for 4 games.
What you think he got to have for us to win?
He's going to have to average at least 18 to 20 points a game in this series for us to win.
No way.
Wasn't he the leading scorer the other night?
No way.
He was.
I didn't know that. But he was.
No way. You can't expect him to do that every night. He has to play a role. They have to play in the system. If they do double team Randall, then whoever's open. You can't expect Barrett to get 20 every night. Nah, I don't think he could do that right now.
No, I fully
if he
agree
get 18 something every other game, I'm happy enough with that because he still stays resilient, and when he misses, he still shoots. And to me, for his first year in the playoffs, that's good enough for me. And that's why I got to make my point again. Everybody want people to do so much more now because they're doing a little bit more. That's like my player used to average 6. Now I want him to average 12 next game. No, it don't work like that.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. I'm just going up. Go ahead, Reg. I'm going to let you go first because I
was going to say, all I'm going to say is this. I totally agree with my brother Hard Willis saying about it has to be within the offense, right? But I mean, it seems like what we're saying is if it's an individual play, it's RJ Barrett or the field. It sounds like Will has the field. I can't argue against that. It's just my personal opinion is that individually it's going to be RJ Barrett.
It has to be. It has to be.
How?
It has to be. Bullock isn't the type of guy that's going to get the ball in a situation where he has to take his man to the basket and score. He's a guy that you have to set up for a jump shot or a three. He's a 3-and-D guy.
All right,
Quickly, he can create his own shot at times, but he can't do it consistently. Burks
he doesn't get enough minutes.
Yeah.
Quickly doesn't get enough minutes.
Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you a question. Why you think we playing through Randall? And why you think I say he's making a perfect read?
Yeah,
because if you guarding me, and you can't guard me, right? Somebody has to help you. So if it's not Barrett's man, it may be Bullock man, whoever else is on the floor, right? They have to knock that shot down. That's the point I'm making about the reads early on. I said Julius Randle's making the right read. So for us to sit here and say we expect Barrett to score one-on-one and score 20 points, no. If he's open, I expect him to make his shots. Yeah.
So I'm gonna counter your point, right? So did Julius Randle make the perfect reads when we got blown out by Phoenix when they was doubling and triple teaming him and he kept turning the ball over? He was looking like his old self.
That's why I said Knicks fans are delusional.
No. I'm not.
Yeah, that wasn't fair. Because this man, hold on. You know why that's delusional? Because you're the same person saying he should be MVP, but then say stuff like that.
That's
delusional.
He had a terrible game.
But so what? He's the same person that say he should be MVP. Does that make sense to you?
I said he should be
MVP.
Okay, then. So how could you?
They can have a terrible game.
Exactly. Now. It happened in Denver and it happened in Phoenix. When they doubled and tripled, it was playoff intensity basketball. That's what they're gonna see in the playoffs. He didn't perform well. Both games.
He's gonna be all right. I'm not worried about it.
Okay, and what I'm saying is it's not only he make the read and they make the shot. That's what make it an assist. You get it? So it's two parts to it. And the reason why he has the ball because nobody's could guard him right now one-on-one. He can hit the mid-range shot, right? So that means that they have to come up on him. They can't play him like this. They have to break the plane so he could work off the dribble, and then that's why they scared of his drive and then he hitting the pull-up. Okay, that causes a double team. Once that causes a double team, whoever is open, so the other team has to figure out who's the weakest link on the floor to double with, and everybody else has to make the shot. That's hard wheels taken. It's always right.
Let's go.
Look,
man. He said, remember guys like Burke.
I'm not against y'all. We on the same team right now. This is the Knicks team right here. Okay, I just want to make that clear.
We got to do it. We got to do this again. So, Reg, you want to take a quick final take, man? We got about a minute and a half, man, before we go. What's your thoughts on this playoff, man? What you think the Knicks going to do?
Look, first I want to say I'm excited that we're in the playoffs, that we even having this conversation. We're at the point where the Nets fans are talking about us, and I'm like, whoa, why y'all even talking about us? Y'all should be concerned with the championship. I mean, y'all must hear us coming. So that says that we're on the right path, right?
100%.
Now I think we can get Atlanta. We should compete in the game round after that, but let's take it one step at a time. Let's go Knicks. Let's make one playoff round, and we'll go from there.
Let's go, man. Word up, man. Shout out
Robert Paul, man. Paul. What he just said, he keeps saying the same thing, and he's so right, though, because Bullock and Burks is on fire.
Yep. And shout out to Knicks, man.
That means they got to play honest. They got to play honestly. What you said, Seal?
Nick Man said Frank should play to slow down Trae Young, man. And that's a huge take. I think Ntilikina is going to step up big on the defensive end in this series too, man.
Quickly too. They're the same guy almost.
Yes, indeed, man. So we got about 40 seconds, man. I want to shout out my brother Reg, man, for chopping it up with us tonight. This ain't your last time, bro. We're going to do this some more. You know, we got big things on the rise. Shout out to my brother Hard Will. Shout out to Fligga for stepping up. Shout out to everybody in the chat checking us in on YouTube and on Facebook, man. Don't forget every Monday, 10 to 11, Knicks Talk Nation Radio. Me, Stills the Great, my brother Hard Will. Bring it to you raw every Monday night, man. So don't forget, man, tell a friend to tell a friend. And until next week, Knicks Nation Radio signing off. Peace.
Let's go Knicks. Peace.
Go Knicks. Fourth seed.
Ha!
We the fourth. What I said yesterday, Seals? We the fourth.
We the fourth.
We the fourth.
The Big Apple.
Official kings in the court, reach for the ball, a hard lesson gets taught. So bring your skills to the nearest playground, no clown around. Catch a helmet in a minute on a New York playground. The Big Apple's what they call it for short. And basketball is our sport. We play for keeps and never settle for short. So bring your game when you come to my town. We snatch a crowd, you get embarrassed on the court after you shook to the ground. You get respected when you prove you get down. So say the joke for the clowns, and NYC we known to go a few rounds. This is a city where you're forced to go hard. You'll get booed out of Dodge and shown the door being the weakest on squads. Rucker Park and summer nights they stay live. Brothers play for the pride and bragging rights on who's the king of NY. So grab the pill and prepare to go hard. Pick your 12-man squad. Orange and blue better believe we go hard. This for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah. For my city, never pretty. New York City, sing it with me. Yeah. For my city, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City, sing it with me.